Hello to my winter 2021 students. I want to give you an introduction to the course outline for Interdisciplinary Studies 102 or INTP 102. When you get to Blackboard, and hopefully at this point already you've gone into Blackboard, you've looked at the introduction, you've looked at the startup and set up for success stuff, and we're going to look now at the course outline. So when you open up the tab for course outline, you'll see that I've included a printable link here, and this is another printable link just to get you there. It's a very large document, so I didn't want to attach it all here. This is put on my Google Drive. So when you open it up and then click there, you will see that here is the Google Drive. You can use the buttons at the top and just download it. You should not have to get any permission. So just download it directly and save it to somewhere that you have reference to it. You do not need to print it all up, but it is good to have a reference. There's some parts you might want to print up, and we'll look at that later. So this is INTP. Now, what I want you to realize about this course is that if we were face-to-face on campus, it would be a 4-hour course, which is two 2-hour sessions a week. Because it is a 4-hour course, for every course in class, you should be doing an hour and a half out of class, which means you should be doing about 6 to 8 hours of work in this class per week, and it's very important you keep up. There is a lot of content in this class. It's actually a kind of a review and resummary of Science 10, Bio 20, and Bio 30. If you just got out of those courses and did really well, this won't be a struggle. But if you did not do really well in those courses, or it's been a while since you've taken them, this will be a lot of information which you need to digest. And the best way is to do an hour or two every single day and make sure you keep up, because there's so much content. If you get behind, you will get very frustrated and you won't want to keep working on this course. So please, very important, keep up and keep ahead. And I've got all sorts of ways to help you focus and keep ahead, but we'll go through those. Now, if you're with me, you're either in Section A or Section C this winter. Section A is the pre-healthcare and Section C is the MLAs. And there's also an online section, Section Z, taught by Cameron. We will be going through the same material, through the same pace, same schedule, similar tests. They're almost identical, except we call it a parallel test. So you ask a similar type of question, but it may not be the exact same question. And the test dates are the same. So it's just a little bit of delivery, and who it's delivered by is a little different. Now, if you are in Section A, there is a 2-hour synchronous section to watch, and we actually have an interaction face-to-face. I will be recording this, and this synchronous section is Wednesdays from 11 a.m. to 2, and it's on Blackboard Collaborate. And I will send you the link before the first one opens this coming Wednesday. Section C, your synchronous one, is Thursday in the evening, and that's because you have labs all day. So it's from 7 to 9 p.m. on Thursdays. Again, it will be recorded and posted on Blackboard, but you will get more out of the class if you're actually attending it. Okay? So it is expected that you are doing 4 to 6 hours per week on this class. When it comes to office hours, I am available online by email. You can usually catch me after the synchronous lecture. I can shut off the video and we can talk. But the best way to get a hold of me is online through my email, and my email is right up here, denise.chiles@rdc.abca. rdc.ab.ca. And I usually get back to you within a day, sometimes 12 hours. If you use this email, it does go right to my phone, and then I can access it whenever I access it from my phone. And I'm, like most people, I carry around my phone quite often. Ideally, please use your RDC email when talking to me for security reasons, and also if you're using a non-RDC email, sometimes it gets held up in the filter. I don't really care what email you use to contact me. I'll just do a reply. Please make it as a professional email, and realize too that I may not give you a large amount of information back because some of you just want the answers. Okay? When it comes to the learning outcomes, the main part of this course is to understand technology, to get accurate terminology, and communicate effectively on those topics related to anatomy and physiology. We're going to look at the levels of the body. We're also going to look at the interrelationship between the 11 systems of the body. And yeah, we're doing 11 systems of the body in 15 weeks. So this is why it's fast. We're also going to look at how the systems of the body interact to maintain homeostasis. And that's going to be one of the main terms this year, is homeostasis. Then we're also going to look at connections between anatomy and physiology. Okay? The textbook, I've already sent you an email about the textbook, and hopefully you've got it. If you don't have it by the beginning of class, I start with it right away. So there may be a copy in the library, but if you don't have a copy right away for whatever reason, I suggest you find a friend that does have a copy, because we start right away. The first week, I actually expect you to do a couple of chapters, and we'll go into that later. When we look at the assessments, there is a workbook that goes with this if you want to get it. If not, I refer to it occasionally. And there is also an anatomy coloring book you may want to do, but only if you like coloring. I did a wee bit of coloring during the first part of the COVID lockdown, but now I'm not a big fan of coloring. Okay? When it comes to the course, the marks in this course, there's really only a few things. There's no effort mark. There is no participation mark. I think it's best for you to show up to the online sessions, but I won't take attendance. And there will also be little videos throughout the course. Watching those videos would be very helpful. However, you're not marked on that. What you are marked on, there's 4 units. So there is a test for the first 3 units, and then the information for the 4th unit will be put in the final exam, but it'll also be a cumulative, which means it's all the stuff in the course. So the first test, 15%, and there is a 36-hour window. It opens on January the 17th at 9 a.m. and it will close on January 18th at 9 p.m. And you need to write the test in that window. We'll talk a little bit more about Lockdown Browser, because you need to be writing it in Lockdown Browser. And if you're not sure what the whole Lockdown Browser is, we'll talk about it in another video. Then there is an assignment talking about your learning style. It is due February the 4th, and that is due at 9 p.m. The reason why I make a 9 p.m. deadline is quite often about 10 o'clock, Blackboard goes into this weird backup thing, which often will make it slow and frustrating to access. Plus, this way, if you go by 9 o'clock, if you have any concerns, you can email me, but because sometimes I'm up to midnight, I'm usually not. So this way you can contact me before the deadline. So the deadlines are 9 p.m. Then the second test and the third test are 20% each. There's an assignment due on April the 1st. And then the final exam is designated by the registrar, which is after the 10th, I think. Good. And that will be determined. You'll know that usually a month before. Okay? Good. Now, when you look at the assignments, one thing I want you to realize is any missed exams will automatically give you a mark of 0. You're not allowed to write the exams later than the date. If you need to write for whatever reason, I can let you write early, but you can't write late. If there's a problem with that, let me know. Here's the link to the final exam policy. I want you to be aware of it. Now, the grade for this class is higher than or most. To get a passing grade, you must have at least 65%. To get a C, which most of you want to continue on in your program, a C is 73 or greater. So please make sure you are paying attention to this and not doing the, oh, I can get by. Please realize 65 or better, and you need to earn these marks. Excuse me, and pass on your own. But just so you know, I don't pass or fail you. You pass or fail yourself. I just processed your mark. Okay, one thing I want you to realize, and I'm very picky about, is academic misconduct, which is giving or taking or presenting information of any sort. This includes assignment information, test information. Some of you hopefully have developed study groups, or you will develop study groups. I strongly recommend you develop study groups. Please do not share any test information, either written or electronic. That's cheating. Okay? Plagiarism plays its way when we look at the assignment. It's important you cite things. We'll be talking about citing in APA. We'll talk about that later when we talk about the assignment. Now, cheating. Any attempt to obtain any unsanctioned assistance in any form will be, is cheating. And cheating can result in a 0 in the assignment or the test, which will often result in you failing the course. Okay? Now, because this class is online, there will be audio and video recordings made of anything on Blackboard Collaborate, and we'll talk more about Blackboard Collaborate when I send out an invitation to you. So realize that you are being recorded. If you don't want to be recorded, please let me know, and you basically will not, you just won't have to talk. So we can mute you somehow. Okay? There's some rights and responsibilities here. There's also forms of appealing and information there. Here's some information on your attendance, which in this class, I won't take attendance, but it shows up if you don't show up, because if you get behind, you get very frustrated. And often I give you information in the synchronous classes, which will help. Professional misconduct is there. Here's some important dates. So one important date I want you to realize is that classes start on the 4th. So they're starting right away. And we have a reading week break on Family Day. So there is a week where I won't be expecting you to do any work. Of course you can, but it won't be expected. Okay? We will talk about the summary in a bit. One thing I want you to realize is that we are using cloud-based sources which are outside of Canada. Also, this course outline is a document. It will not be changed unless there is a consensus, and the test dates will not be changed. So the test dates are there. It's a 1-hour test that you write in a 36-hour window, so hopefully you can find time. If not, get a hold of me. Here is some online considerations I want you to pay attention to. One is reliable internet, and that is important, even though I often find my internet will go down, but I think it could be my Chrome browser. They're trying to get me to use Firefox, so we'll see how that works. You need to have the lockdown browser, which we'll talk about when we're doing a preparation test before the real tests. And you need to have structure for yourself. So find a place to work, find a time to work, sit down and get it done. And there's some online success toolkits for you to look at. Okay? In terms of your technology requirements, you can look that up. If you do not have Office 360, especially if you have a Mac, you can get some free stuff from the library by going onto the main Blackboard page, which I'll go to later. I don't want to go to now. Okay, if you look on the main Blackboard page, it's there. So that is the course outline. Briefly, I also want to look at the schedule. Your schedule, as I say, this course has 22 units. 22 chapters, 4 units. The chapters we're starting right away. So in the first week, you're doing chapter 1, chapter 2, parts of chapter 22, and parts of chapter 19. So get on it and get right away. Our first test opens on January the 17th at 9 a.m. and will close at January 18th, 9 p.m. It's a 1-hour test. I might make it give you a 1.5 hour time period. Once you start it, you sit down, you write it in one attempt, and you have, it's a closed book test, so no cheating, no extra resources. And we'll talk more about that when I talk about tests. Okay, so here is the schedule that we go through, pretty much a chapter a week. And we go through it here, and you will see that you have a break on the week of February the 15th. Then you will see everything will be done on the week of April the 5th. So it goes quickly. There's 15 weeks and 22 chapters. So it goes quite fast. And you will find this course has a lot of content. So please do not get behind, because it will snowball. There's a printable schedule here on this link. And that's pretty much what I want you to know for starters with the course outline. There is a lot to read here, so go ahead and start. I will be opening Unit 1 of Blackboard, and Unit 1 will be found over here. I'll be opening Unit 1 of Blackboard probably on the 4th. I'm just putting finishing touches on it now. And that's the course outline for you. So please take time and look it over. Print up the schedule so you know what you're doing. Make sure you got your textbook. And I will see you on the synchronous courses when you're scheduled. Take care.